Good evening. Police remain tight-lipped about a weapons incident over the weekend. That prompted a significant response. Thank you for joining us. Thunder Bay Police still aren't saying much about a weapons call on the city's south side yesterday afternoon.
A large police presence converged at an address on South May Street where there have been several violent incidents over the past few years. Officers arrived on scene around 2 o'clock Sunday after getting reports about an incident involving a weapon. The service's forensics team was also called in. The investigation appeared to be focused on the apartment building at the corner of May and Arthur Streets. There's still no word on any injuries or arrests. A media release issued this afternoon says a smaller police presence is expected to remain in the area and that more details will be provided when they become available.
A 24-year-old Thunder Bay driver faces a number of charges after Rainy River OPP observed the vehicle traveling a whopping 70 kilometers an hour over the speed limit. It happened on Highway 71 in Chapel. When police stopped the vehicle, the driver fled on foot, but was arrested after a brief search. The accused faces impaired driving, stunt driving, and other charges and will appear in court next month. Their license has also been suspended for 90 days, and the vehicle has been impounded for a week.
The Nuclear Waste Management Organization has released new research into the safety of burying nuclear waste underground at 2 potential sites, including the one near Ignace. Lead author Paul Gershevsky insists the findings on the deep geological repository increases confidence about the safety of the 2 potential sites.
The additional information that's really got more precision on in the past year is on the detailed chemistry, the hydrogeology, the structure of the geology at depth. And all of these things are basically saying that these are good locations for long-term stability for hosting a fuel. So it's the combination of all of these technical aspects that builds into the story.
The 2023 Confidence and Safety Reports provide a summary of the NWMO's understanding of the 2 sites, including the geology, seismic activity, the future glacial cycle, as well as the possibility of future human intrusion. Local anti-nuke groups have expressed concerns about the site in Ignace and the potential danger if radioactive material leaks into the environment and waterways. When asked about those concerns, Gershevsky says they've always been focused on the safety of the sites and how best to manage them.
We're doing, as other countries around the world, is this multiple barrier approach. So we're not just relying on one barrier, but all these multiple barriers. And then the additional part is the site. So the whole site and these multiple barriers has to work together. And what we've learned by focusing on these 2 sites and the studies that we've done over the past several years is that these are good sites, that the combination of them provides that robustness, that durability that we would be looking for safety.
The safety reports can be found on the NWMO's website.
Residents and business owners around Highway 102 are being asked by the Ministry of Transportation to complete a new online survey. The MTO has launched a study to identify potential road safety and operational improvements between Dog Lake Road and Sistinen's Corner. The ministry also wants input from the general public. Over the past few years, the number of collisions and fatalities on Highway 102 have increased significantly, both in the winter and summer months. Many residents have called for a transport ban or reduced speed limits. Letters have been arriving in mailboxes in that area asking people to go online to fill out the survey. Some of the questions focus on visibility and driving conditions when the highway is covered in snow or ice, as well as concerns about other drivers' behaviors along the route. The survey is open until April 14th.
After multiple delays, Mayor Ken Boshkoff will finally deliver his State of the City address at tonight's City Council meeting. That was originally supposed to happen in early January during Council's first meeting of 2024, but was delayed because of budget talks and other factors. Boshkoff has titled the address, "All Roads Lead to Thunder Bay." The mayor has hinted that it'll focus on the city's strategic location in the country and how the expected mining boom will benefit the city.
The city is looking for public feedback on the future of the Pool 6 lands.
Some of the recommended uses include a mountain bike area, a multi-use field, or a Nordic spa. Vasilios Bellows reports.
The city of Thunder Bay is updating its waterfront master plan and is specifically looking on what to do with the Pool 6 lands, a crucial first impression for cruise ship visitors. To get the public's perspective, a survey has been launched on the city's Get Involved page, gauging community appetite for some of the proposed uses for the site. Those include a mountain bike and skating area, a multi-use field, or a Nordic spa. Landscape architect Guy Walter says deciding what goes on the site will be a collaborative project.
Developing a draft kind of master plan that we'll be putting in front of council, and then through the fall, hopefully, we'll be developing that further as it goes back and forth between the community, council, working with also the CDC to get their input from the best use study is really, it's really a big team project.
The city is hoping future developments of Pool 6 will complement other amenities at the site, including the Transportation Museum and the new art gallery, expected to be completed in 2026. Along with these, the city believes the waterfront trail will be a crucial aspect of the site's development. With so many options for Pool 6, Walter says there's ample space for many of the projects the community wants to see move forward.
The whole perimeter around here, moving back all the way to the railway lands, and then further north to the parking areas and Prince Arthur's Landing. We've also got other developments underway with the renewal of the festival area. All of these things are going to tie into each other. So, the big moves are, really connecting all of it.
The survey will wrap up at the end of the month, with the results expected to be posted in April. Beyond that, there will be in-person opportunities down here at Pool 6 this summer for the public to have its say, ultimately deciding the future of the site. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
2023 was a record-setting year for cruise ships in Thunder Bay. 4 different vessels made a total of 14 visits, bringing 5,300 passengers to the city.
And that upwards trend will continue this year with 17 vessels visited and planned to visit, including 2 new cruise ships that will make their first ever stop here. Nev Van Pelt reports.
Thunder Bay has become one of Canada's busiest cruise ship ports of call, with more than a dozen tour stops in each of the past 2 years. This upcoming season, the ships arriving on multiple occasions will include the Viking Octantis and the Viking Polaris, along with the Hanseatic Inspiration, which all made tour stops here last year. And there are 2 new ships coming this year, Peninsula Champlain and Pearl Seas Cruises Pearl Mist. The first ship of the year is going to be the Octantis, which will arrive on June 5th. Thunder Bay Tourism Manager Paul Pepe is excited for the busy season ahead.
We have days where we're going to have 2 ships in port on the same day. And, the cruise lines, they map out their entire annual route of where their ships are going to be every single day. And so it's a nice problem to have when you actually start to see 2 ships in a port in the same day. It's happening more and more in the Great Lakes.
The north shore of Lake Superior has been mainly untouched by the cruise industry until recently. And according to Pepe, it is something many passengers are looking for. As the closest gateway port to the National Marine Conservation Area, this works in Thunder Bay's favor.
And part of it is the Great Lakes is really regarded as one of the last untapped cruise markets for the expedition and discovery market. And there's more people looking for those more intimate, more educational cruises. So more companies now are starting to develop ships and itineraries for them. So we're benefiting from that.
Tourism Thunder Bay continues to make investments in the Pool 6 dock as it transforms and is working with the cruise lines to ensure the best possible amenities there. Pepe explains they aren't expecting to keep breaking records for cruise ship visits in the years ahead, but he's not too concerned about lower numbers in the future.
For example, in 2025, we are looking at less visits than 2024. It's the nature of the cruise industry. It's cyclical. I think we have 11 or 12 vessel visits already booked for 2025, which is a bit lower, but still really positive for the community. So we're looking to make investments that are practical, pragmatic, cost-effective, and meet the needs of the ships.
The last of 22 cruise ship visits this upcoming season will be Hanseatic Inspiration on October 5th. Nev Van Pelt, TBT News.
Lakehead University students and the local community got together this weekend to celebrate Indigenous culture and dance.
The 34th annual Powwow was organized by LU's Indigenous Cultural Traditions Club. Jessica Clement was there.
The C.J. Sanders Fieldhouse at Lakehead was packed for the annual Indigenous Cultural Traditions Club's Powwow, with hundreds coming out to dance and drum over the weekend. The weekend included drummers from across the region, traditional dances and regalia, and a traditional feast on Saturday. The powwow has been held for the past 34 years, and ICTC President Jordan Thompson Van Conant says hosting it is a wonderful step forward in the path of reconciliation.
It's a wonderful gathering that brings people from all across the world together. We have a lot of international students here today. We have youth all the way up to elders. It's an incredible turnout to see the diversity here at the powwow, and we're so thankful that we're able to be a part of bringing this to everyone.
Thompson Van Conant says he's noticed more international students volunteering for the powwow and wanting to learn more about Indigenous culture.
From everyone that I've heard of that's an international student that's come up to me, all the volunteers, everyone who's arrived as a guest, they've just been astounded by just getting to see how everything plays out, because for a lot of them, this is their first powwow they've ever got to experience. And getting to be a part of that and to show them how everything works and to have them volunteer as well, they've been so amazed.
This weekend's spiritual advisor, Carmilla Moses, says it's amazing to see the powwow bring all members of the Thunder Bay community together.
With our nationality itself, with being Indigenous, we're welcoming people, and to see other nations come together to try to help organize and make it run smoothly, it shows a true definition of people in society trying to come together, to work together, to obtain and have that structure.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Area residents have been flocking to the Silver Harbor Conservation Area over the past few days to check out the ice formations. The big ice chunks were washed in by the waves on Lake Superior, creating a beautiful photo opportunity. But with today's warm temperatures, the stunning creation of Mother Nature won't be around for much longer. The chunks of ice had been bright blue last week, but the early spring melt has already turned them white. Many people we spoke with today noted that it's good to see the lake ice melt so quickly, or rare to see the lake ice melt so quickly, in the beginning of March. Nonetheless, the visitors were clearly enjoying the nice weather and what was left of those formations.
I think it's a beautiful photo opportunity. You not only have a beautiful lake, but you have the ice sculpture, you've got trees. It's just gorgeous here, and it's calm.
It's a beautiful place for pictures, yes. From a few years ago, when I brought my grandchildren out here, and we saw all the Inukjuks and all the different sculptures, and they were able to do some themselves, and they still remember, and they had a great time that year. But it's neat to see this as well.
The Lakehead Region Conservation Authority, which oversees Silver Harbor, is asking people to be careful as the ice levels aren't monitored. The LRCA also reminds visitors that there's a $5 fee to park at local conservation areas.
The warm temperatures have put a damper on a lot of winter pastimes, but the early spring means an early start for a few summer activities.
Yeah, believe it or not, Dragon Hills and Northern Lights golf courses both opened their driving ranges over the weekend. Riley McManus was there today and brings us the story.
It's the earliest the driving ranges have opened for this season ever for both courses. Northern Lights previously held a record of being opened on the 15th of March many years ago. And Dragon Hill's previous record was March 16th back in 2007. And you could feel the excitement as players were shaking off the rust from the off-season.
Well, this is unprecedented, actually. This is the earliest that we have ever been open, and it's exciting for us, but it's really exciting for our customers. It just gets you out of the house. And this winter as well hasn't been the greatest in terms of being able to have activities. There wasn't enough snow to really do a lot. So people are just getting outside and doing something, and they're excited about that.
The nights are still cooler and the ground is still a little frozen, but with the sun shining, I couldn't miss the chance of joining in at the range myself. Now, I may seem a little bit rusty, but that's the whole point of these driving ranges. You got to dust off the rust and then you prepare yourself for when the course is actually open. See if I remember how to do this. Yeah, rusty. Mike Komar is the owner of Dragon Hills, and he says he's hoping to open their 9-hole golf course on Friday if all the snow is gone by then. And when asked if this early spring gives a sneak peek on how the rest of the golfing season may go, he had this to say.
Well, the old saying used to be, if March comes in like a lamb, it goes out like a lion. If it comes in like a lion, it goes out like a lamb. So that's the old proverb, right? So I'm not really sure what to expect.
Northern Lights and Dragon Hills will have their driving ranges open throughout the March break, with both locations available from 12 noon until 6 p.m., as long as Mother Nature stays on their side. Riley McManus, TBT News.
I think Riley better hope that those driving ranges stay open for the foreseeable future. She needs to work on her game a little bit in the tee box. And Fiona, let's transition to the weather now, because it is gorgeous out there. I know you can't officially say that it's a record until we get that from Environment Canada, but it looks like it could be.
It looks suspiciously like a record. We topped out at 15. Remember, this is a rounded number. Unofficially, we appeared to have topped out at 14.7. The old record was 14.3 back in 2007, obviously when those golf courses opened earlier as well. Today, we also had partly cloudy skies, very little wind, just 3 to 9 kilometers per hour for most of the day from the southwest. That was after an early morning low of -5 and a wind chill, felt like -7, so almost non-existent. Now, if we take a look at what's going on across the region, we had sunshine pretty much in every direction throughout the day. It's just been in the last hour or so that clouds have started to roll into Red Lake. But temperature-wise, everyone's been seeing crazy warm temperatures to the north and to the west. Double-digit highs. Red Lake at 12, as is currently Sioux Lookout, Armstrong, -11 in Greenstone. And the temperatures actually were quite cool yesterday and overnight last night. Today they rose 21 degrees since last night, so beautiful day. And then we hit Fort Frances, another potential record. Again, 16 is a rounded number, so it depends on how those 1/10 of a degrees work out there. But as we head into Marathon, Wawa, and Sault Ste. Marie, it was a little bit cooler today. It's just been in the last couple of hours that the Sioux hit the double-digit temperatures. Marathon and Wawa still much cooler, but still on the plus side at 3 and 5. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay tonight, we are going to slip back down below the freezing mark, but still well above normal for this time of year, -3. And because winds will be from the southwest, it's nice warm flow and relatively mild and light, 10 to 15 kilometers per hour. So wind chill not really going to be much of a factor. And then as we head into Tuesday, well, I have great news for Riley and her desperate need to dust off the rust. We have lots of sunshine coming back and a very solid chance we're going to be back in the double digits again.
Okay, that is fantastic news, Fiona, because I know it's early, but I am fully into spring mode already. I am not mentally prepared for any more winter-like conditions. Should they? Yeah. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Don't jinx it.
Not even going to talk about it. Things are good. Let's keep them that way. All right, things are not good, unfortunately, in Haiti. In fact, there was an emergency meeting today in Jamaica with international leaders to discuss the escalating gang violence there. The capital has been seized, as has some key infrastructure. We'll have all the details when your Monday News Hour continues after the break.
A weeks-long explosion of gang violence has locked down the country's main airport and port.